All right, we are rolling for our first episode of Wine and Spirits, episode 1. Okay, and everything's rolling. I got my wine in my hand. I like this morbid look we got going on. All dark.
Yeah, same. I have my bubbly.
I got my wine because I'm legal.
Grape juice, not wine. For reasons.
I had to get a quick sip in.
She has her grape juice. I have my bubbly. There's a cat bugging us. That's disgusting. Go away.
Meow meow. Meow meow.
All right.
Let's do a little clink, shall we?
Yeah.
Toast to our first episode of Wine and Spirits.
Whee! Cheers. So, what Wine and Spirits is like a sit down kind of like almost like a podcast.
Yeah, someday it'll be a podcast.
We'll get there. But it's like a sit down thing where we tell paranormal stories or just anything spooky.
Yeah.
Normally it's going to be paranormal stories, our own, our friends, your guys' at some point. If we
I
ever
would love to do that.
If we ever have enough like subscribers and stuff, we can have you guys submit your
personal stories
to us.
I feel like that'd be a little bit too similar. We can share this, but I'm not putting this in the video. I feel like that's going to be very similar to like, and That's Why We Drink. I don't know if you guys know who they are. They're a podcast. They're incredible. I love them. But they do listener stories episodes where they have people come in and share their stories of like true crime and paranormal stories, which is cool. I love that. I love listening to those. I want to write into them one day. I probably should. But I mean, we could do that same thing. They don't own it. They don't own that idea.
See, here's the thing is like I forgot that That's Why We Drink existed because I don't really listen to them anymore.
I love them.
I used to. No shade to them. It's just
they're great.
I kind of fell off when it comes to podcasts, especially. You know, I'm very picky. I have like one podcast I listen to on a regular basis.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I listen to a bunch of different ones. Hello, sir.
He's playing with something. It's called the Goons podcast.
The Goons.
It's for gamers. It's really annoying.
That's very you.
It's for gamers. They're funny. They're obnoxious.
Yeah, podcast.
I'm secretly in love with one of them. You have to guess who. They're all pretty gross though. They're not gross, but
let me tell you really quickly though.
The one that's a musician, which is all 4. So there you go.
That's not off brand for her. I've seen her type of guys.
Yeah. Anyways, Rayna, what are we going to talk about today?
I think that today, because it's our first Wine and Spirits episode, it's our first time like really getting to sit down with our audience and chat our tail, and getting them to get to know like us personally.
Can you not play with the light?
Oh my god, he's like sitting. Oh my god, he's like on my phone. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. Cut.
So after that, I guess you would call it technical difficulty. Is that a technical difficulty?
The cheddar difficulty.
After that, I think we're ready to continue.
Yeah, I'm gonna need another one of these pretty soon.
He literally broke the light. Like,
oh yeah, it's being held together with Scotch tape.
Yeah, I mean,
currently,
I'll get super glue.
Yeah,
but like,
it's fine.
Out of all the things he could have broken, is the light. I'm just not.
It's fine. We're all fine.
He's never done anything like that too. He's never knocked over a drink. He's never done that before.
I know, and he knocked over both of
the possible drinks that he could have knocked over, and
the most over the light,
and like a piece of equipment.
So we're having a great day. How are you?
He's currently eating, so I think that distracted him enough.
Yeah, so we're good for a bit. I don't know. What are we going to talk about today? We want to talk about like some of our early paranormal experiences, right?
Yeah, kind of like what got us into all of this stuff. And like why we do it. Like why are we taking time?
What ignited the fascination? Yeah.
So I think you should go first.
Me go first?
I think you should go first.
Okay. I think I've told you this story, but obviously they don't know this story.
Yeah.
Because this is the one, I don't know how many of you guys know this place. It's called the Hotel del Coronado. It's this beautiful resort, softest sand on the beach I've ever touched. And it was a resort built in like the late 1800s, maybe mid 1800s. It's beautiful. They shot.
It sounds haunted.
They shot Some Like It Hot there. So if you watch the scenes when they're on the beach, the Hotel del Coronado is in the background.
Some Like It Hot.
Some Like It Hot, that Marilyn Monroe film.
Oh!
Yeah!
Yeah.
Is
that the
movie.
one? Oh, that's a different movie. Never mind.
That's the one that also has Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon.
Sure.
And they dress as women.
Sure, I'm a film major. I should know that.
They dress as women. They were ahead of the times. We love that.
So what happened at the Hotel Del Coronado?
So, the Hotel Del Coronado does have a woman who committed suicide there. Her name's Kate Morgan. I don't remember if that's her real name or not. I know she had a couple different aliases. But she mysteriously died. She was staying on the 3rd floor. She mysteriously died and was just found on... There used to be outdoor stairs that looked towards the beach. And she was found one morning on those stairs. So my family... Okay, side note. My family used to have quite a bit of money. Not like rich. I was definitely like upper middle class, I'd say, when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like low class. So we stayed there like a few summers when I was younger, and it was definitely like expensive. And there was one year we stayed on the 3rd floor. Keep in mind, I was like 7 or 8 around this time. I want to say closer to 8 years old. And we were staying on the 3rd floor. This was like the only time we ever stayed on that floor. I think we technically got an upgrade because like our room was flooded, which wild. So we were staying there in the old Victorian building, and I remember being in the bathroom. I was in the bathtub. Obviously, I was alone in there because I was 8 years old. I could take a bath by myself. Might not be able to do it now, but I could do it then.
I think you commanded.
And I remember being in there, and I remember sitting in the bathtub, like facing towards the faucet. The door was closed, and I remember like sitting there doing my own thing and having this weird meow. I'm sorry. We interrupt this story for a cheddar interruption.
He's making his own commentary. I need you to just shut your trap. That'd be great.
Cheddar has something to say, and he's not going to be subtle about it.
He's making it everyone's problem.
Yes. We back.
Hold on. This isn't animal abuse. There's a couch right there.
And I had this really intense feeling because I remember like in my peripheral, like the door was right there, and there was like the little and the corner of the room was like right there, kind of like right behind where Maria is. And it was, and I remember just getting this feeling that like I could not look in that corner. And I just had this really intense feeling, like I froze up and I couldn't explain why, and I just felt this really, really sinking feeling, and I was like, I cannot look in that corner. And I remember thinking at the time, like, there's nothing there, like, this is all in my imagination, but I know in my mind's eye, I saw something very distinct. I saw a black skirt, but it was like an A-line skirt. It had like some tulle ruffles to it that I noticed, and I remember that distinctly. And it was black, but I remember it was like kind of faded in a way, like maybe where it was in the sense where it could be like an apparition. It didn't look like a straight like black skirt in front of me.
Yeah, you can kind of like see through it.
Yeah, a little bit. But I didn't look directly at it. I just remember seeing it like in my peripheral and in my mind's eye.
Yeah, and like how well lit was this bathroom though?
It was an all white bathroom.
Yeah, so like it's kind of like
an all white.
It's like the lighting we have in here. It's like
even brighter than in here. It was bright in there. And I remember just being really uncomfortable, and then it went away and I felt fine. And that was it. That was literally all it took. And I remember in the moment thinking like, I do remember like someone knocking on the door, like checking to make sure I was okay. And I went, yeah, I'm fine. And like, that was kind of it. And I didn't really think about it for a long time because I was convinced that like, oh, it was all in my head. It was all in my imagination. Yeah. Fast forward, like 4 years later, I was 12 years old. And my family and I went back to the Del Coronado. We didn't stay on the 3rd floor. We didn't stay there, stay in that room. But we went back there. And I remember going to the gift shop, and we were looking around in there, and there was a book called, I can't remember what it was called exactly, but like The Disappearance or something like that of Kate Morgan. And on the cover is an apparition of a woman wearing a black dress, A-line skirt. And I remember looking at that skirt, and I went, that skirt looks vaguely familiar. Obviously, it's not a picture of her, but they do have records that that's what she wore, because there's like some stories about like why she was there. And I remember looking at that, and I asked my mom, I went, hey mama, whose who's that? What's this? And my mom, who is a believer in the supernatural as opposed to like the rest of my family, my mom was like, oh, they believe that this hotel is haunted. This is a woman named Kate Morgan who they think haunts the hotel. And I said, Mama, I saw her.
Okay, the way you said that, Mama, I saw her.
Literally, I was 12 years old and I said, Mama, I saw her. And my mom went, wait, what? And to this day, we still do research on it. Sure enough, she stayed on the 3rd floor. We stayed on the 3rd floor. We actually bought that book like that day because my mom and I wanted to read it. And there's like a map you can see of like what the 3rd floor used to look like before the remodel in like the 1800s. And yeah, pretty much where her room was is right around where we were staying.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She was probably like looking at you. She was like, what is this child doing in my bathroom?
Yeah, she was.
She's like, who is this kid?
Who is this kid? You're not mine. Get out.
Yeah, that's probably what she was just like, hello.
I know, but I'm just like, that was so weird because nobody else had any experiences there. My mom is also very like open to the paranormal as well.
See, mine is too. It's just she's more of like, it has to happen to her.
Yeah, well, my mom believes me. She's like, I believe that happened to you. She also thinks that I'm kind of like a conduit and I'm very sensitive. So that was my first paranormal experience at 8 years old, and I didn't realize it. But I didn't officially start believing in ghosts until I was like 18, 19. Tell me about your first paranormal experience. So instead of us talking about how like we lost our virginity, tell me about your first. It's your first. Tell me about your first paranormal experience.
Well, my first paranormal experience was okay. It kind of goes on for a very long time actually. Like
that's okay, we got time.
Yeah. So like, okay, so here's what happened. So when
was she putting her drink down,
fluffing my hair?
Do I need to refill?
No, I mean if you're drinking like a monster, then sure.
So yeah, tell me about this wild first paranormal experience. How old were you when this happened?
Okay, here's the thing. I remember a lot of my childhood, but like I have a really horrible perception of time. So like I know that I was like elementary school, middle school. I was born here in LA. I was raised here up until I was like 12, 13. I was raised here. I turned 13 when I moved to Chicago, and then I did 8th grade all through high school there, and then I moved back here after high school. So this was the house we lived in Reseda before I moved to Chicago.
Oh man, Reseda, yeah.
Yeah, Reseda. So we lived in this like townhouse. So it was the garage, and then there was like a basement like kind of area. It wasn't really a basement; it was like a finished basement, but it was like an extra room like that went into the garage, if that makes sense. Almost like a storage area.
Okay.
But we use it as like a computer room.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. And then you would go up the stairs from that room, and that would be the living room and the kitchen.
Side note, it took me a minute to think about this, but remember when we had to have computer rooms? Like there was a time, there was legitimately a time when there was like the computer room for like the family.
Yeah, that's how we treated this room.
For the family computer.
Yeah, that's how we treated this room. Because my parents also did have their own business. They still have their own business, but they had the computers down there, and then there was like a futon and like a bookshelf, and then like a water thing and all that stuff. And then also too, since there's no windows down there,
yeah,
it was pitch black. So we had like a motion sensor light.
Oh.
That comes into play. Okay, we had a motion sensor light, and also the door to this room. So like it was the door that separated the garage to this room, basically the entrance. So you know how like those really heavy doors, like if you let them go, they have like that thing at the top. It's like a metal thing that stops the door from like slamming all the way shut.
So it like slows it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was broken. So like if you let that door go,
it would just
boom, and it would shake the whole house because it would like rattle the whole house.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then you go up the stairs, there's their own hallway light for that particular staircase as well. And then you go into out of that staircase onto the main floor, which was the living room, the kitchen, and then we had a fireplace.
Okay.
In LA, I don't know why people have fireplaces. You don't need them.
It's for decoration mostly.
It's for decoration. It was definitely for decoration, but ours actually worked. The way I've never seen a fireplace work like this before, but like this fireplace, like it had a light switch, a legitimate light switch.
Oh.
And then it would ignite like that.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Not like a click light switch, but like the timer kind of light switch.
No, like the light switch that's like on the wall.
Oh, like a.
Yes.
Oh.
It had its own light switch. I don't know, but it was
if it works, that's cool.
It was a real fire, whatever. But here's the thing about this light switch too is like obviously it's a fireplace, so it would get hot when it turned on. So
Of
my
course.
mom made it a point to let us know not to touch that light switch. Because like it was like a row of 3 light switches and then its own separate light switch.
Yeah.
So like you really can't make that mistake by
Yeah.
accidentally turning it on. That comes into play as well. So then you go from the main floor and then obviously you go up those stairs. Again, separate light switch for that area. And then you get upstairs, and that's my mom's room, and then it's the guest room, and then my bathroom, and then my room all the way at the end of the hall. So now you have the layout of this house.
Okay.
So my room was above the kitchen, and the kitchen was above the garage. So like when
So
you
it's
open,
yeah.
so when you open the garage, you can literally feel it all the way up in my room. Now that you have all that backstory, I'll get into it. So I don't really remember like everything leading up to this. So like I would remember hearing footsteps. The minute we moved in there, I would hear footsteps at night. Because like our like wood floors we had on the main floor, like they were like really like it was like cheap wood, so like it would like crack a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I'm
you can
talking
hear
about?
it like creak kind of?
It wasn't even creaking, it was like cracking.
Oh.
Like it's kind of like if you get like a piece of plywood and you start to like poke it.
Yeah.
That's almost what it sounded like.
Ew.
So like I would hear footsteps, especially up the stairs too. Like I would hear like the footsteps like cracking on the floor, and then I would hear them come up the stairs, but they were slow because you know how you can recognize like your family's footsteps.
Yeah,
after a
because
while?
everyone has their own cadence when they walk.
Yeah, like I can tell my dad to my mom. Obviously, my dogs like
Yeah.
So like these footsteps, it didn't sound like them. So like I would kind of tell my mom about it, and she's like, "Oh no, don't even worry about it. It's probably like your great grandma coming to visit." I'm like, "Cool, I didn't know her." But
I love when parents do that. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, by the way, it might just be so.
well, that's like, I'm just like, okay, well, thanks, but like I don't.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
That doesn't make me feel better. I didn't know her, so I'm just kind of like, okay.
I appreciate you coming to visit, but like, can you not?
Yeah. So like, I would hear stuff like that. So like, you know, it would build up. And then
It always starts out small, doesn't
very
it?
small. And then, you know, it was like stuff like that where like my mom started asking who turned the fireplace on. And I would be like, I didn't turn the fireplace on because why would I do that?
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, you need to stop turning the fireplace on. Like it, you know, it costs money, first of all. And also
Of course.
it's hot. So like, can you not? And I literally told my mom, I didn't turn the fireplace on. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so, she was like, she like taped a piece of paper over like the switch.
Uh-huh.
And it would still turn on. And like the switch was visibly like pushed.
Oh my god.
And like, even then I'm just like, Mom, I'm telling you.
I promise you I didn't do it. 'Cause you would see like the tape like is falling off or like the paper's crinkled or something.
Yeah, the thing is like too is like she would work in the basement all day. So like when she would come upstairs, she would notice that it was on. But when she finally believed me that it wasn't me is when I was at school and it turned on by itself and she came upstairs. Because like she walked me like to school, so like she knew that it wasn't on when she had left.
Yeah.
And then when she came home, she came in through the garage, and then she stayed there, and then she came back upstairs and it was on. So then that's when she finally believed me that it wasn't me.
It's about damn time.
About damn time, Amber. After that, it was starting to turn into doors slamming.
Including that really, really heavy door, I'm assuming.
Of course.
Oh my god, I love this.
So it was like door. Sometimes it was like just like the door, because like there was a door separating the staircase that goes down into the basement area into the garage. There was a door there, obviously separating that space. So like sometimes like I would hear that door open, and I was expecting like my parents to come home, and
they wouldn't.
They wouldn't, because once they started working out of the office, they would start working out of their office and actually going to like our centers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I would be coming home by myself and I would be home for a couple hours, and that's when like things would pop off. Of course, when they're not home.
Of course.
Why would that happen? I was sitting in my room and I hear that door slam, the really heavy one in the basement slam, and because it slammed. It's like
it rattled the whole place.
It rattled the whole place. It's like someone opened it all the way and then just let it go. So imagine that heavy oak door just boom. It was loud, and I was like, whoa. Like, I remember jumping, and I'm like, what the hell? And it rattled the windows and everything. And so I'm waiting to hear someone come upstairs. Because here's the thing, I didn't hear the garage door open. So
Who did it?
Then who's there? I'm sitting in my room hoping to hear someone come upstairs, and I don't hear anyone. And so I'm like, okay. So I don't make it my business to go downstairs and investigate. Because I'm thinking there's an intruder.
Because you're like 12 at this point.
I'm like
13.
maybe like...
Oh, no, younger than that.
Probably 9 or 10, 11 maybe? Not 11. Like, no, I'm not 11. I'm like maybe like 9 or 10. For sure.
So of course, 9 or 10, you're like, stand like, up here.
No, I have things to do up here. I have my homework to do. Like, so I'm just like, oh, okay, sick. So I just let it, whatever. I mentioned it to my mom, and she's like, oh, it's probably the neighbors. But here's the thing. I remember that house. Yeah. I lived there for a lot of my childhood. Not once did I ever hear our neighbors. Like doors slamming, nothing like that. Like occasionally, like our staircases that would lead upstairs, like they were adjacent to each other, so they shared a wall. So occasionally, like when I'd be walking up the stairs, like I could hear them if they were walking up their stairs. You would hear each other, but that's the only area of the house you would hear them. Like if you're walking up those stairs that are adjacent, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's the only time I would hear them. But even then, it was very faint. So, like, it just didn't...
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, so I just let it go. I was like, she's probably right. She's my mom,
Of course, same thing.
She's probably right.
Me as an 8-year-old, I was like, that's weird.
Like, that's weird, but we're gonna let it go. It's fine. And then, after that, like, that's when it started to, like, kickstart and get a little bit more serious. Because I noticed that. And so then I would be more, like, not open, but I would sense things more. Where, like... Sometimes I'd be really cold in a specific area of the house, or like for some reason I would get like, because I'm really like vulnerable to like energies. I feel sometimes I feel like I'm very vulnerable to that stuff. I can sense people's energies very easily and everything in any situation. Yeah. So like sometimes I'd just feel uneasy in my own room. I'd feel like I was being watched. It was.
Oh God. It was. That's so personal when it's like in your own space.
This next time I remember I was sitting upstairs alone again. And the thing is, this was at night. Now that I'm remembering, this was at night because my parents weren't home. I think they went out. I remember like hearing the door slam again, and so I'm all the way upstairs alone. And so it doesn't make sense again because then I hear the garage door open, and obviously they closed it when they left because I would watch them leave, knowing that I was like, okay, now I'm completely alone.
Oh God, that relates to me. Well, as an adult, that relates to me. As a kid, I was like, Mom, take me with you.
Yeah. And so I'm hearing it slam again, and this time I wanted to go investigate. Now I'm just
feeling brave.
Well, not because like after a while, because like I'm skipping over some stuff, but like but it's the same stuff that keeps happening. Yeah. So at this point, it was happening for like a few months, and my mom was like, "No, you're crazy.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Everything's okay."
Yeah. The one instance with the fireplace, that's what she believed me, but she's like, "I don't feel anything here, so I don't know what you're talking about." Love you, Amber. Thank you. I go downstairs, and when I'm staying down, I go to the main level. And so I open that door that leads down into the basement, and it's pitch black, obviously. Like, pitch black. Like, you can't even, like, see your hand in front of you. Like, there's no windows, nothing, okay?
In the part leading to the garage?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I turn on the hall light down there. Like, not down there, but I turn on the stairway light that goes down. And then I kind of inch my way down. And so I'm halfway down the stairs. And the door slams. It slams when I'm right there. And like that was loud as fuck. I didn't even hear it like open. Because it was a creaky door, so like after a while.
If you didn't hear it open, like was it already open?
I don't know. And it slams really loud. And then I wait like a second to see if I can hear anyone. And the fucking motion sensor light goes off. Okay, here's the thing. That door should have set off the motion sensor light. But it didn't.
Would have.
It would have set off... I'm getting chills. It would have set off the motion sensor light, but it did not. Okay? And do you know what I did?
Love this.
Do you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I ran upstairs. I fucking booked it up those stairs all the way up, and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom!
Mom!
I was like, Mom, I had a Motorola flip phone, by the way. It was a pink
Oh, the Razor? Yes, I had that phone too.
Yes, I called my mom on my pink Motorola, and I was like, Mom, I think that there's an intruder in the house.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's like the logical thing to say.
And my mom, she's a good mom. Let me just say this, okay?
Amber
is a great mom, okay?
Love you, Amber.
But again, I don't know if she thought I was lying to get her to come home. I don't know, okay? But I called her up, and she says, hey, we're at dinner. And I was like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I know that. I was 8. I didn't say that.
I can imagine you, like, as a 10-year-old saying that. Yeah, no fucking shit, Mom.
Yeah, I can see that. And so I was like, I know, but like, I told her the entire thing that I just told you, okay? Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, is there anyone downstairs? Did you hear anyone? Do you hear anything? And I'm like,
yeah, I heard the door slam.
No, and I was like, well, yeah, I heard the door. She's like, did they chase you? Are you sure there's someone downstairs?
Amber.
And
Amber.
and so I'm just like, well, I don't hear anyone right now. You know what I'm saying? And so...
Well, they came and saw you and left.
They came, saw me and left. And so she's like, okay, well, you know... I just don't think she believed me.
Maybe.
Because, like, it just sounded way too... Because, like, she said, like, if it was a person, you would have heard them. Like, the garage...
If it was a person, you wouldn't have been able to call her. Let's be real.
Well, if it was a person... Yeah, that's why she was like, if it was someone trying to do something to you, it would have happened already. Like, you wouldn't be calling me. So I can get why... I can see her logic and also...
But at the same time, you fucking... Okay, sorry. I'm not gonna do that.
No, but at the same time, like... I was also telling her all these things over the course of a few months.
Yeah, so this is just like a bigger version of it.
A bigger version of it. And so
oh, well, that's unfortunate.
I just, you know, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. I'm just thinking she doesn't believe me, which is understandable.
That's true, because it's like, that kind of stuff is hard to believe.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so nothing obviously happened to me. And then she gets home, nothing was there, obviously. Mm-hmm. I go to bed that night. Mm-hmm. And I have one of these loft beds from IKEA. So it's it's like a desk, and then on top of you, over your head is like your bed.
Oh yeah, I used to love those as a kid. I wanted one, but I never got one.
Yeah, in this situation, they're not cool to have. So I was upstairs. I was up in my bed, sleeping, and I'm getting woken up to my bed moving and shaking, like someone's crawling up the ladder to my bed. And I'm like,
what you can't see right now is this. I am gripping her arm.
And so I'm half expecting my mom's head to be like checking in on me.
Amber.
But at the same time, like, she would do that if I was like sick or something. She would like pop her head up there, but usually she would like walk around and like kind of like tip, like, you know, she wouldn't normally like climb up there.
Yeah.
And then it stops, and I'm like looking at the end. I'm looking like this.
My heart is racing right now. I'm so scared of what's to come.
There's nothing there.
Oh.
So a lot of this is really repetitive. Doors slamming, you know.
And this went on for like years, you said, right?
Yeah, for like a couple years. And then my cousins come to visit. And that's where everything actually started to like happen. So so like a couple weeks before they come to visit, I know that they're coming to visit, okay? Mm-hmm. So a couple weeks before this, I get the flu. Really bad flu. And so it was so bad, like I couldn't even like climb up my loft bed.
Oh.
So I was like really weak.
Yeah.
My mom is having me sleep on this like inflatable, like, it's not like a beanbag, but it's like an inflatable couch.
Like an inflatable mattress kind of thing almost, or?
Kind of, a little bit, but it's still, whatever. I can sleep on it, it's inflatable. Those details don't really matter.
Okay.
So I'm sleeping on this thing on the floor, because I can't climb.
Yeah.
So I remember, because like I would like close my door every single night. Obviously, I sleep with my door closed.
Yeah, we all do, yeah.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah. Weirdos. With their doors open. I remember like waking up, and like, it was like something like startled me awake. Almost. Like, here's the thing about me. I'm a very deep sleeper. Very deep sleeper. Mm-hmm. Like, you can punch me in the face and I won't wake up.
Love it. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. And so it's like something like startled me awake. Mm-hmm. Almost. And like, I'm like sitting up and I feel like very overwhelmed by whatever is like in front.
Oh God, that feeling is intense.
Yeah, we were just like, it's like you're almost having a panic attack, but you're not having a panic attack almost.
Yeah.
And like, I remember like sitting up, and like I'm looking towards my door. My door is open. And like I could attribute that to my mom coming in the middle of the night and checking on me or something.
Yeah.
And like it's not like open like all the way.
It's just like
it's like
a crack.
It's a jar. It's a jar. My door's not ajar, but it's a jar.
It's oh my God. All right, we're done. Okay, this has been real, guys.
I'm sorry. That was annoying. I'm sorry. I'm gonna dip it.
All for the bit. Now I have to put this back on.
Good for you.
Oh,
I hope it was worth it.
It wasn't.
So my door's opened a little bit.
and
I see, and I'm looking, and I'm sitting up, and I'm looking at my door because I'm just kind of like, why is it open? You know? And like it starts to like open a little bit, like by itself, and I'm just like, I'm seeing that because you know, like sometimes you can stare at something and you think it's moving, but then you blink and it goes back to its original position.
Yes. Me all the time.
I hope that everyone can resonate with that.
That's something I 100% go through. I don't know if you guys go through that, but I do that a lot where I'm like, did that move? Is that in my head? Am I just crazy?
Yeah, because like it was also like dark. Like I had like a nightlight.
Yeah.
I had a nightlight, but it was also pretty dark. So like it happened to me the other night too when I was like sleeping in my room here, where like my door was slightly ajar for my cat. He's somewhere. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, he's not here anymore.
He's in my room.
We'll find him.
But like I left my door open for him, and like I remember sitting on my phone. I thought my door was moving, but I was like staring at it, but it wasn't moving. It was fine.
Oh, okay.
But like it's like when the dark plays tricks on your eyes.
Love when it does that.
And so like
that's why I have a fear of the dark at 25.
Yeah. So I'm looking at my door and I see that it's like moving, and I'm like, okay, no, that's not moving. But then like I'm like noticing that it's getting like wider, like open. And I'm like blinking, and like it's like open. It's like more open than it was before, and I'm like, okay. And the thing is, I had small dogs, so like they would be able to fit through. They wouldn't be able to open the door like as
they would just kind of work their way through.
Yeah, or they would bump it a little bit, but it by no means would it open.
Yeah.
And so I see like it's like a black cloud almost.
Fuck no.
In the doorway, it's like a black.
No, I quit. I would be out of there. I would be like, nope, I'm calling my mom right now.
It's in the doorway.
I am
so
calling
like,
my mom. Mom, come get me.
Mom, pick me up. I'm scared. So I see this black cloud in the doorway, and immediately, like, I'm not like scared. I'm also like half asleep. But
so like, you're like, oh, this could be like sleep paralysis or something.
No, because I'm sitting up, looking at it. Like I had sat up prior. Okay, and so like I'm half asleep, but I know what I saw.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I should be more scared, but I'm not. If that makes sense.
Oh. That's interesting.
Because like I also remember feeling very overwhelmed. I'm like like that, but like I'm not like super duper like I'm not terrified.
Yeah.
Because I actually talk to it and I say, "Can you please stop? I need to go to sleep." Like I don't know why I'm like talking to this thing.
That's fucking ballsy, dude.
Well, first of all, I'm half asleep and I'm like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like kind of like when you're half asleep and you like make this like you're doing stuff. I don't know how to describe it.
I mean, I get it.
It's like you're not thinking. Like, you're not thinking completely clearly.
Yeah, I guess. But...
So like I remember like I actually hold my hand up like this in front of me, and I'm like, please stop, please go away. I'm trying to go to sleep. Please leave me alone.
Oh my god.
And like I'm talking to this thing, and then I remember like feeling more relieved, and then I go back to sleep.
How did you go back to sleep after that?
Because I was tired. I was 8 or 9. Here's the thing about my childhood. I don't remember like ages. Like I remember like because I moved around a lot to certain different houses. Like I remember being in whatever grades in this house, and then in a different house, and then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I don't remember like completely how old I was, but I remember my little cousins being small. Like I think maybe they're like maybe 4 or 5 or something.
Oh my god.
So I had to have been like at least 10. Yeah, I was 10. Now that I remember their ages, I was 10.
You were 10 years old and you saw a dark shadow figure coming into your room.
It was
and you're
a cloud.
Go away.
It was a cloud. So I wake up in the morning and my door is closed. Again, I could still attribute that to my mom coming in, checking on
you, yeah.
and then closing the door. And I don't say a word to my mom because she's not going to believe me.
Thanks, Amber.
Thanks, Amber. So I don't tell her anything, obviously, because she's gonna think I'm like crazy. Also, I'm like half like thinking like I'm crazy too. If that makes sense.
As one does, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm also like 10 years old, whatever.
Of course.
My cousins come to visit. I'm sleeping in my loft bed. They're just there's nothing notable that happens there anyways. Like my cousins, like they're too little to like even like sense anything or like notice things that are like off. So like they don't notice anything or whatever. My aunt and my uncle don't notice anything, whatever. So one night I'm asleep in my loft bed. I'm at the top, obviously, and they're sleeping on the floor. On a like a little air mattress or whatever. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night. And obviously, like, so when you're in my loft bed, at least, I'm pretty sure this is all of them. But mine was, like, really tall. So, like, I couldn't really sit up completely, like,
because you would hit your head.
I would hit my head on the ceiling. And that has happened before.
Me.
And so, but the thing is, like, my bed was, like, in the corner of the room. So, like,
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, like, I was, like, in the corner. So, like, completely, like, so then I'm just trying to give, like, a layout. So, like, if I were to, like, look to, like, my right, it would be, like, the corner, like, completely, like, adjacent.
Okay, so the far, like, yeah.
Like, diagonally across.
I'm sorry, I just did this and I covered your face.
It's fine.
I'm more important.
So, like, I'll do it on this. I'll actually do it on the screen. So, my bed and my head is here. This is, like, adjacent.
Yeah.
So, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Do you guys get it?
Do you guys get it? I hope you do.
Rewind and follow along again.
Sorry. And so I remember I wake up, and again, I feel like a very intense, like, kind of feeling again.
Like that overwhelming
The overwhelming feeling that I had felt, like, a couple weeks before.
Yeah.
And I, like, look over, and there's a fucking black cloud in the corner of my room. So, like, this corner.
So not even in the by the door. It's, like, in your room.
It's, like, in my room now. And it's, like, floating.
Dude. Sorry, go ahead. But, like, dude.
It's, like, floating, like, in the corner of the room. And I'm watching this thing float and, like, do a cloud. It's, like, being a cloud, you know? It was traumatizing. So, like, not, like, completely traumatizing, but, like, it was
scary.
It was pretty scary.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at this thing, and it's, like, floating and doing its thing. And, like, I shit you not, I swear, okay? Because, like, I was, like, blinking a lot and, like, trying to think. I was like, am I going crazy? Like, am I looking at this thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying this twice now. So I'm just, like that, blinking at it. And it's, like, not going away. It's still there. And I'm pretty sure I saw, like, two, like, red eyes.
Fuck, no. No. You didn't? Sorry, go ahead. But, like, that scared me.
Yeah, it's
like, that makes me want to cry how scary that is.
Really?
I would be in tears.
Oh, well, it's okay. Relax.
No, I mean, like, I saw that, I would be in fucking tears, dude.
I guess I'm brave. I don't know.
You are. You're a Leo.
I'm a Leo.
See,
Could you tell I'm a Leo when I did this? I guess I'm brave.
Remember when in the first episode when I said I'm a Cancer, so I'm a sad little baby, so I cry all the time?
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't care what people say?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing, dude.
Oh my god. So
okay,
I see this.
Continue.
I'm seeing this, but then I start to get scared. Obviously, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
So then I like do the normal kid thing where I'm like, if I cover myself with my blanket, it's gonna leave. So I cover myself with my blanket, and then like I close my eyes, and then like I end up falling asleep again. Because like, you know, what else can you do? And
I swear to God, if your cousins are like, what was that thing? I'm gonna lose my shit.
Hold on.
I'm gonna lose my shit.
Hold on. You're getting teary-eyed.
You're
getting teary-eyed.
I told you.
It didn't even happen to you. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Do you need a moment?
No, I'm good. Continue.
Okay. So after that, it's like I don't see the black cloud anymore after that.
Okay, good.
My cousins don't say anything to me.
Okay.
have like the same experiences with the door slamming and stuff like that. That's about as worse as it got.
Okay.
But after that, it was more just kind of like whatever, and then after that, it just sort of stopped.
Okay, well that's good.
It just sort of stopped. And then
that's weird. It's always weird to me when paranormal stuff just stops out of the blue.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's possible. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. Continue your story. I keep interrupting you. I'm trying to make commentary.
But when we had first moved back here after high school, so it's the house where I lived with my parents. It was in Chatsworth. Those same cousins actually came to visit me. So now at this point, they were at that time, I want to say they're 14 now. So people, they were like 12. Mm-hmm. Maya had to have been 12. Shout out Maya and
Hi,
Alex. Maya and Alex.
Hi guys.
So we're talking, like I take them up to my room, we're talking, whatever.
Is this the moment where I lose my shit?
Probably.
Oh fuck.
So we're talking, okay? So keep in mind, I'm like 17, 18. I'm like 17, I think, or 8. I had just turned 18, one of the two. So we're significantly older, whatever. I remember what happened that night. They were little, so I had no idea. I didn't even bring it up. But they were talking to me about that house because they were like, "Oh, I like this better than the last house you lived in now when you used to live here." And I was like, "Why?" Because they had only come visited me like maybe once or twice. Like they really had no experience. And they were like, "Well, that house was like haunted." And I was like, "Excuse me? Like what?" Because like I don't want to give any information up. I want them to volunteer this information because I want to see if there's matching things here. And then the younger one, Alex, he was telling me, because I think now at this point he's like maybe 10 or 11. So he's telling me that up until a couple of years ago, until he was 8, he would have dreams of a black cloud chasing him through the house.
Oh my god.
I asked them if they remember the night they came to visit me, because they were going to Disneyland. I asked them the trip where they went to Disneyland, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we were like," they both remembered it. And I forgot who. This is where I think it was Alex, or I think it was Alex who said this. I should probably ask them, but I don't want to. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Alex because I don't think Maya ever really had any experiences in that house. If she does, I'll ask her.
Yeah.
But I think it was Alex who said this. He said, yeah, one night, I remember I woke up in the middle of the night, and I remember, like, seeing a black cloud floating in the corner of your room. And then I said, oh my god. You saw that too, I was up that night. So we both saw the same thing and never, like, expressed it to each other until, like, years later. So it's just confirmation that house was haunted. Because he corroborated my story.
I'm gonna tell you, dude, you took me on a journey today.
So that was, the first episode of Wine&Spirits.
That was our first Wine&Spirits.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, because we want to do more of them. We want to tell more personal stories. We want to do all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Maybe someday this will turn into a full-blown podcast. That would be really cool.
Yeah, with like guests and people.
Yeah, I'd love for us to be able to do that someday.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
If you guys are, wanting to keep making like videos like this, we definitely will. But like send us in your like stories if you want. Like we'll probably do like
I want to
We'll do like a few episodes here and there, like reading your guys' stories.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that because I mean, you saw how I reacted to Maria's story. Yeah. I'm going to do the exact same thing to your stories.
You know what? We should do this. We should try to make you actually cry.
No, don't actually make me cry. I don't want it.
I'm kidding. Don't make her cry.
Don't make me cry. Not on purpose.
Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like down right below. Also, make sure
subscribe.
Go ahead and subscribe because we make new videos every single Saturday. Anything else we wanna talk about? You can see our socials at the end. Over, is it this way or that way? I don't know.
Somewhere here.
Somewhere, popping up somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's it for now.
We'll see you guys.
We'll see you guys next week.